Up in the sky, it's a bird. No, it's a plane. No, it's a super dog, and he's chasing his own tail. Here, boy. Here, boy. I have a podcast for you. Fetch! And you can fetch too, because this Geek History lesson all about the League of Super Pets is now in session. Hello and welcome to Geek History Lesson. I am Jason, the goodest boy Inman.
I am Ashley Victoria Robinson. Welcome to your Mind University, because you have stumbled onto the podcast where we take one character, construct, or animal from popular culture and teach you everything you need to know about them in about an hour. What are we talking about today? Today
we are talking about the League of Super Pets, because there is a film directed by Jared Stern starring Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Keanu Reeves, and a whole bunch of other people that is hitting theaters this week. Now, they're called the League of Super Pets in the movie, but typically in the comic books, they're called the Legion of Super Pets. So we're just kind of covering all of the super pets of the DC Comics universe all in one go.
Great.
Because I thought, when else would we talk about those pets?
I'm surprised that intern Cat Brago is not teaching this lesson.
You know, intern Cat Brago, it is weird. He should have been included in this as being a super pet of the podcast, but he did not help one damn bit. But one person that did help, gave some special help with this one, is our research assistant, Diego Nunez. Woo! Who you should go follow at BlackCrow521 on the Twitters. Give him some follows. He helped out while visiting the kennels and petting all the heads of the good boys and good girls. Mm-hmm. So, and then we thank him for that help. All right, let's jump straight into the 10-cent origin of the Legion of Super Pets.
That is the first part of the podcast where Professor Jason is going to teach you all the basic things you need to know about the super pets in case you go to a really cool animal adoption party and someone doesn't know who they are.
Now, the Legion of Super Pets, of course, are DC Comics characters, and they first appeared in Adventure Comics number 293 in February of 1962. They were created by Jerry Siegel, one half of the Siegel and Schuster team that created Superman, and Kurt Swan, who is a very famous Superman artist. Now, this is not all of the members, but here are just some of the members, okay? And don't worry, we're going to cover them all in further detail. But Beppo the Super Monkey, Comet the Super Horse, Krypto the Super Dog, Prote 2, Streaky the Super Cat, Detective Chimp, Bat Cow, Flexi the Plastic Bird, Clay Critter, and Titus are just some of the members of the Legion of Super Pets.
I forgot about Bat Cow.
Who can ever forget about Bat Cow?
I think Bat Cow might be better left forgotten.
Better left than forgotten?
Better left forgotten.
Why? What do you got against cows?
I like cows. I just don't like things associated with Damian Wayne.
Understood. All right, listeners. And Ashley, what's your email that people can send you letters about Damian Wayne?
geekhistorylesson@gmail.com.
There you go. Send her lots of letters. All right, let's get to the meet cute.
That is where we talk about the first time we meeted these characters and how cute it was.
Now, our research assistant Diego gave us a very cute meet cute, if I will. He said that I think I always knew that Superman had a dog, but the first time I saw Krypto in action was his brief appearance in Batman Hush when he corners Poison Ivy. Eventually, I learned about the absurd number of super pets in the DC Comics universe, and because of the research of this podcast, but I don't think I ever knew about them becoming a team. So, Ashley, where did you first meet cute? Now, any of the members of the Legion of Super Pets. We're not just talking about specific ones, but like, where did you first remember hearing about this concept?
Probably Ace, as he appears in the...
Ace the Bat Hound.
Yes, as he appears in the Batman, the animated series, late
Does he appear
90s,
in that show?
Early aughts. I think, I don't...
Oh, you know where... I'm sorry.
I think he debuts in Batman Beyond.
He's in Batman Beyond,
but,
yeah.
Not a fan. But
did
watch it.
Please send letters to what's your email for that? For the
Geek History Lesson at June. I hate Damian Wayne and Terry McGinnis at gmail.com.
Wow.
My real problem with Batman Beyond is that they make Tim Drake the Joker at gmail.com.
Listeners, I just want to point out that in the GHL studio that we are recording in right now, there is a Batman Beyond exclusive Mondo print hanging up on the wall.
So it's not mine.
So 50% of this podcast loves Batman Beyond, and apparently 50% hates. There's a lot of episodes of Batman Beyond I think you would really like.
Look, listeners, we've never covevered Batman Beyond.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe we should do it.
For a reason. No, I don't have any problem with the concept of the show Batman Beyond, but I remember being struck by Ace the Bat Hound because down the street from where we lived at the time, there was a Great Dane, and I was a very small child, so it was a very big dog, and his name was Thor.
Oh, I was just about to ask you if you live down the street from Canadian Bruce Wayne.
From Canadian Bruce Wayne, Justin Trudeau, as we sometimes call him.
What? I don't think so.
Well, he was raised rich and privileged.
Oh, that's fair. So for me, my meet cute with the Legion of Super Pets is I'm like Diego, I kind of always knew Superman had a dog.
Yes.
And it was always the joke that Krypto was kind of a joke. And in fact, where I learned about most of the Super Pets was from Wizard Magazine, the comics magazine of the 90s. And they would make the Super Pets basically the butt end of a lot of jokes.
This is a very classic Jason and Ashley meet cute, where it's Batman the Animated Series and Wizard Magazine.
There you go. Everybody out there, if you like Super Pets, you might also enjoy Jason and Jeremy John About Justice League. That is a podcast that we record 2 episodes a month. It is one of 3 bonus podcasts that you can hear for supporting Geek History Lesson over at patreon.com/Jawiin. That's Jawiin. There's lots of Marvel Club videos. There's exclusive prints, all kinds of stuff for supporting your Mind University. And we want to thank all of our super friends that help us out over there. And they're really cool people over on our Patreon exclusive Discord as well. So Patreon.com/Jawiin. This week's Geek History Lesson Extra, by the way, is we are going to decide. There are some Marvel Super Pets, but we're going to decide the Marvel Super Pets for like Iron Man and Captain America and all of them. So there are some Marvel Super Pets, surprisingly. Not as many as DC, but we're going to talk through all of that. So thank you all to super friends over there, and go check that out. Patreon.com/Jawiin, everybody. Let's get to the History 101.
That is the main meat of the lesson, which may be an unfortunate word choice for an episode about animals, where Professor Jason is going to teach you everything you need to know about the League/Legion of Super Pets.
Yes. Now, in the comics, and we're going to touch on the movie a little bit, but at the time of this recording, we have not seen the movie.
True.
There will be no spoilers about the movie, but I will touch on who appears in the movie from the publicly released information that's out there.
Yeah.
I'm certain there will be some secret cameos and some secret Easter eggs.
Oh, I'm very certain.
So, but at the time of this recording, I only know like the main cast that's been announced, and those are the ones we're going to talk about. But we're going to start in the comics first.
Let's do it.
The original team was known as the Legion of Super Pets. Like I said before, in the movie, they are called the League. It has now been changed recently to League of Super Pets, I think because they want to make them like a Justice League of Super Pets. But the Legion of Super Pets were basically a team up of all of Superman's super pets coming together. Now, and they were also called the Legion because of why, Ashley?
The Legion of Superheroes.
Which Superman is a member of.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Do you prefer the name Legion or League for the Super Pets?
Ooh, I think Legion sounds better.
So do I, actually.
But I understand the marketing of League.
Absolutely. Especially in a post, like we have had a Justice League film.
Yep.
Your mileage on it may vary. We have not had a Legion movie.
I will say this. At least they're both L words. So it doesn't, it's not.
Yes, well said.
It's not that much of a change. I just think Legion of Super Pets sounds better.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's a great question, by the way.
Thank you.
The initial members of the Legion of Super Pets were Krypto the Super Dog, Streaky the Super Cat.
I love Streaky.
Beppo the Super Monkey, Comet the Super Horse, and later on would include the addition of Prote 2, and we'll get to Prote 2 later.
Yeah.
Prote 2. Okay.
That's some deep cut stuff.
Have any of you out there ever seen the John Hughes movie Uncle Buck?
I saw it with you.
That's right. If you know what Uncle Buck is, Prote 2 is sort of the Uncle Buck of the Legion of Super Pets.
Oh my God. You're not wrong.
It's the one that sort of doesn't match. But is almost cool enough that you don't care.
But you like having him around. He's a good time.
He is a good time.
Yeah.
Now, most of these Super Pets and the Legion itself was basically regulated to just the Silver Age because they're goofy and silly. And a lot of them actually made their origins, like we talked about in DC Comics in the Silver Age. They would always make the cover first and then write the comic. They would force the writer to write the comic based on the cover because they thought that only the covers sold comic books. So some of these Super Pets basically owe their origin to a weird DC Comics Silver Age cover. Once DC Comics started getting a facelift with the Bronze Age, the age of comic books of the 70s, a lot of the Super Pets were thought of as silly. They were phased out. And then when the massive retcon event of Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, a lot of these pets simply just did not exist anymore.
Yes, and if you need a lowdown on Crisis on Infinite Earths, check out our podcast/video series, Crisis Club.
That's right. However, as recently as 2018, there has been sort of a loose reunion of these super pets that has included Krypto and Titus, who I mentioned earlier. Now, Titus is the Great Dane that is Damian Wayne's dog, who was at the time a stand-in for Ace, the Bat Hound, in continuity. But we're going to talk about Titus a little bit more later.
Yeah.
All of these super pets every way. Don't worry, I'm going to go more in depth, but I just want to give you a setup of the Legion of Super Pets. But the reunion of the super pets in 2018, Krypto, Titus, Streaky the Super Cat, Flexi the Plastic Bird, I like Flexi, Bat Cow, Clay Critter is Prote too. And this happened in Super Sons Annual #1. Now, Ashley, I want to ask you, and it doesn't have to be any of the ones that I have mentioned so far.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite DC super pet? And which one is it and why?
Interesting. Probably Streaky.
Is it Streaky the Super Cat?
Yeah. I'm a sucker for an orange cat. What can I say?
An orange cat with a Superman cape.
With a cape. Yeah. Co-host of Jason and Jeremy John About Justice League, Jeremy Skinner, also has an orange cat with a Superman cape.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Yes. Charlie's Charlie's not the intern of the Jason and Jeremy John About Justice League podcast. He is the
mascot?
I think unwitting saboteur.
I was like emotional support.
Yeah. So, my favorite is also Streaky. I think it's very much Streaky the Super Cat. There's just something about an orange tabby with a red cape that you're just like, that is just too cute. But I will also admit, I really do love Beppo the Super Monkey.
Interesting. I really love Krypto. And the way they use Krypto in Titans always makes me really happy.
It's probably the best part of that show.
One of them, certainly.
All right, now let me tell you about the first adventure of the Legion of Super Pets.
Please do.
So one day, Clark was called into action as Superboy. Now, this would have been teenage Clark Kent, because in the Silver Age, Clark Kent had a Superman costume when he lived in Smallville when he was like 14, and he would put it on and save people around Smallville.
Yeah, largely out of the main continuity now.
Yes. Now, Clark put a suit on, he became Superboy, and he saved an aircraft from crashing. But Superboy uncharacteristically leaves the aircraft to fend for itself, forcing Krypto, the Superdog, to save the day. Superboy snaps again as he tries to throw Krypto into the path of a kryptonite meteor, but luckily regains his sense of self and stops what he is doing. Superboy then receives a call from the Legion of Superheroes, and he coordinates a meeting place with the three of their members, Cosmic Boy, Saturn Girl, and Lightning Lad, the three founding members. And they claim that they are interested in updating their records because, in the future, we're obsessed with paperwork and bureaucracy. They need to know which Kryptonian criminals have been banished to the Phantom Zone. They want a list.
All of them.
Yep. Soon after, Mon-El, a Daxamite, who has a deep connection to Superboy.
Not Superman.
Superboy once thought he was his brother, but he's a member of the Legion of Superheroes. Mon-El arrives to warn Superboy that the Legion plan on betraying him by releasing the Kryptonian criminals from the Phantom Zone. Superboy is blasted by the Legion members with a special kryptonite ring incapacitating him, and it is soon discovered that the three Legion members are actually being controlled by the brain globes of Rambat, who seek to conquer Earth.
All glory to the globes.
Yes, of Rambat. After Superboy is defeated, the Rambat continue their conquest by releasing the Legion from their mind control as their mind control, as they aren't considered a threat. The Legion realize that Krypto wasn't affected by Rambat's mind control, and they reach the conclusion that animals aren't susceptible to their mind control like humans are. And the Legion decide to go through time to collect all the other super pets, including Comet, Streaky
the Superco,
Beppo, and together they form the Legion of Super Pets to fight alongside the Legion of Superheroes, and they successfully defeat the brain globes of Rambat.
Holy complicated Silver Age origin, Batman.
Yeah, but it's kind of nice, right? Because then it explains why they are also called a Legion, because they were formed by the Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the Super Pet adventures involve them getting together to help out when the other Legion Superheroes need existence. And we're not going to talk about every single story, but I want to get real quickly, I want to dive down deep into some of the specific Super Pets that will be featured in the movie, like I said, as has been revealed by the main cast so far. So we're going to break down the ones that appear in the movie, and then we're going to break down the ones that appear in the original team in the comics.
Great.
So let's start with the movie. Let's start with Krypto, the Superdog, the most famous.
The goodest dog.
He's the goodest. He's Superman's dog. He was created by Otto Binder and Kurt Swan, and he first appeared in Adventure Comics number 210. He was intended to only be a one-off issue idea, but audiences loved him.
He's got laser eyes.
He's the bestest of boys.
He's got laser eyes.
And because of that, he became a regular in Superboy's comic. Typically, he's shown as a white dog. Sometimes he's been depicted as a Labrador Retriever. His breed has never been specified. In the New 52 reboot, he was sort of updated to like a white wolf.
Yeah.
Krypto was Kal-El's pet dog on Krypton as a toddler. Before Kal-El was set off to Earth, Jor-El was testing his rockets to ensure that they would make the trip, and Krypto was the test subject. Very 1960s. We're going to put an animal in a rocket, and we're going to shoot him to the moon.
Yeah, like Laika or Cosmo? What was that Russian dog?
Pretty certain it was Cosmo.
Cosmo. I think Laika was the ape.
Yes. Similar to Supergirl, Krypto's rocket was knocked off course, and it eventually landed on Earth when Clark was a teenager, and, he experienced time dilation, of course. Now, Krypto's powers are similar to Clark's in that he has heat vision and he can fly. He also has super smell and super hearing, and his super strength is proportionate to his smaller size. So he is very strong. He's stronger than an average dog, but he's not stronger than Superman.
Yeah, makes sense.
After the 1971 revamp of Superman by editor Julie Schwartz, Krypto didn't make an appearance for a few years until 1974 in Action Comics number 440 to 441. Now, Krypto was kind of lost. Nobody knew where he was. But
dogs, they run away from home all the time. You never know where they go.
But Krypto, being the good boy that he is, he helps Green Arrow and Black Canary stop a smuggling ring by Professor Stilgrace. And Ollie and Dinah soon figure out that this dog with superpowers is actually Krypto.
Man, it's so nice that this dog just showed up and helped us break down these criminals.
And can fly.
And has laser eyes.
Yeah. Now,
Ollie's definitely dumb enough to be like, great, love it.
Well,
12 out of 10.
I just want to tell you, I have mentioned this adventure on the podcast before, if you remember.
In our Green Arrow episode?
I don't remember where I mentioned it, but I have specifically talked about this issue before.
I'm sure you have.
But Krypto basically runs off before they can call up Clark and say, hey, we got your dog.
He's like, don't call my dad.
But Superman finally finds Krypto in Superman number 287. And as it turned out, that the explanation for Krypto's disappearance was that he had suffered amnesia from a battle against the Mindbreaker beast.
He's a dog. He's a Kryptonian dog.
Comics!
But
amnesia!
I don't think dogs can have amnesia.
Yes. So instead of Krypto being woof woof, he was woof woof. Yes. But that was the explanation for why we hadn't seen Krypto for like 4 or 5 years in the comic books. When Clark finds Krypto, the beautiful loyalty that a dog has surfaces, and he instantly recognizes his beloved owner, and the amnesia is gone.
I imagine it's like when soldiers come back from being deployed overseas, and that Krypto just laid down on Clark and was like, "You're never going to move again. I thought you were dead."
Famous Superman writer Elliot S. Magan was asked once why Krypto returned during this time, and he simply replied, "A man needs a dog, and a Superman needs a super dog."
What a great answer.
Now, some other fun bits about Krypto before we move on to some of the other animals. The Smallville Ledger named Krypto the world's fastest dog. And,
yeah.
Yep. In modern continuity, post Crisis on Infinite Earths, Superman left Krypto in Superboy's care. Now, at this time, Superboy was Connor Kent, the Superman clone.
Yeah.
And he was living in Smallville. And he left Krypto in Superboy's care, saying that Smallville's open spaces were a better place for a dog.
I remember that issue.
And that Superboy could use a friend. This is very, very famously the era of Superboy where he's wearing a t-shirt and jeans.
Yep.
These two slowly developed a close friendship, even though initially Krypto didn't like Connor.
Yeah, because Krypto knows what's up.
Well, Krypto could tell that he was a clone, and there was actually several lines where Krypto thought Connor smelled weird because he smelled like Kal-El, but not quite. So anyways, but eventually Krypto willingly did anything he could to protect Connor. One example of his loyalty was Krypto's quick defense of Connor when Connor was attacked by an outraged Superboy Prime during the Infinite Crisis events right before the event. That's the event that killed Connor Kent.
Yes.
Now, actually, Krypto, the super dog, seems to be the one DC pet that always gets brought back every single time DC has a reboot. Like, DC will do a reboot, they will wipe Krypto from existence, but he always comes back. With some of the other super pets we haven't seen since the reset, but Krypto every single time comes back. Why do you think that is? Why is Krypto like the one super pet that always comes back?
Because more people like dogs. than cats.
But I'm asking that, like, Ace the Bat Hound has not been brought back as many times as Krypto.
Yeah, but Ace is not a family dog. You can say all you want that DC has never laid down the law as to what Krypto's breed is, but he is he's the doggiest dog. He's the doggiest dog. He looks like a dog. He's also appeared in multiple. He's the most famous as well. And because the thing that's actually most interesting about Superman, which is the thing that they fight against it and then they always circle back to, is the idea of the Superman family. Even if that's, whether that is Clark married to Lois with John as their child, or whether that's like the concept of like it's Clark and Connor and Kara and Karen and like Power Girl as well, or whether that's Clark and Diana. Like there's always a concept of family, and in the North American nucleus, when we think of family, it's always plus dog.
Plus dog.
Plus dog.
Plus Fortress of Solitude.
I also think because Krypto's done the most, like Krypto in, is it Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, where Krypto dies protecting Superman?
That's right. Well, that was also the story where they were wiping out every Superman's ancillary characters.
I mean, yes, but no other super pet, to my knowledge, has sacrificed themselves.
Krypto dies killing the Kryptonite Man so that Superman doesn't get infected with kryptonite.
Yep. It's a sad issue. It's a good death.
And he howls to death, dying of kryptonite poisoning.
Yeah.
But that only happened in old continuity. So everybody out there, don't worry. If you're listening to this with your kids and your pets.
He never died.
Hey, boy. I know you're listening. Yeah, you. Hey, boy. You're a good boy, aren't you? You're good. Don't worry. Krypto is okay. It's okay. Go get the ball. Go get the ball. You're a good boy.
I would like you to know that intern Bregos had no emotional reaction to the death of Krypto.
Not at all. He's like, finally, good. I'm glad that dog is dead.
Krypto is a sweet angel, though. I mean, we love him.
Speaking of dogs that aren't sweet angels, Ace the Bat Hound is who we're talking about next. Also in the movie.
Mean.
He's basically Batman's dog. He first appeared in...
He's Batman's dog.
He first appeared in Batman number 92. He's created by Bill Finger and Sheldon Moldoff. Basically, he was created because of Krypto's popularity and debut. Ace was inspired by a lot of German shepherds that were featured in detective films and serials at the time, like Rin Tin Tin, the very famous movie dog, and Ace the Wonder Dog. Batman and Robin found Ace drowning in a stream.
Yep.
This is their Silver Age origin. The two of them managed to save him. They soon realized that Ace's owner was kidnapped by some dastardly counterfeiters. And the two of them venture out and successfully rescue Ace's owner. The three of them work so well together, Ace, Batman, and Robin, not Batman and Robin and this counterfeiter. And Batman, of course, being an avid collector of orphans, is his second favorite thing to collect, he decided to throw a mask on the pup, and he recruited him officially as Bat Hound.
He made him say the oath in front of the statue.
He did, and he made him go through 6 months of training before he could even wolf outside.
So he could identify some poisons.
Yep. Batman and Robin would borrow Ace whenever they needed assistance on a case that involved stealth and tracking, and Ace's owner was none the wiser about Ace's double life. Yes, that is correct. You heard me correct. The original Silver Age Ace the Bat Hound lived with his owner, and they did adventures with Batman and Robin at night.
Wow, then they just supplanted the story onto Tim Drake in the 90s.
Conveniently, Ace's owner accepts a new job that would keep him traveling. And since Bruce Wayne was such
From Wayne Enterprises.
And Bruce Wayne was such an avid collector, Bruce Wayne was asked to take care of Ace. Allegedly, the owner never knew that Bruce was Batman or Ace that was Bat Hound, even though Ace was constantly playing with a small, tiny bat mask.
And then he never, ever came back. And Bruce was like, this is my dog now.
During their adventures together, Ace did get superpowers for an issue that included fire breath when encountering Batmite. Batmite is sort of the Mr. Mxyzptlk of the Batman universe, this little imp from the fifth dimension. Batmite thought it would actually help Batman and Robin when fighting crime. The drawback of these fire powers made the Dog Knight more susceptible to the commands of others, including criminals. So Ace turned against the dynamic duo and helped criminals escape. Luckily, Batmite reversed Bat-Hound's powers, and Ace goes back to his good-natured self. Now, there have been a lot of retcons on Ace's history, especially recently, because Ace has been brought back in continuity. One recent issue was one that Tom King wrote. He actually won an Eisner for this issue that was the origin of Ace the Bat Hound. And then there is also sort of another Ace, and that is Damian Wayne's dog Titus, that was introduced in the series Batman and Robin, which was introduced as an Ace the Bat Hound replacement. But then a couple years later, other DC writers also introduced Ace. So now technically in the Batcave, there are 2 Bat Dogs right now. 2.
That look kind of the same.
They look kind of the same. Yeah, we should have just kept Titus. That's what we should have done. Titus was the dog. It's Titus. We don't need a second bat dog.
But DC loves to be like, no continuity, but now we're going to introduce all of these things from continuity.
No, actually, I wanted to ask you a question. If Batman has a dog,
yep.
I know there's a very obvious answer to this question, but I'm going to ask the listeners and yourself to like expand our minds a little bit, go into the Prote 2 world. And think about, Ashley, you are our Robin expert, our Dick Grayson, our Jason Todd, our Tim Drake, our Damian Wayne, our Jason Todd, our Stephanie Brown, our Duke, what's Duke's last name?
Thomas.
Duke Thomas, our Carrie Kelly's, our whatever expert. What type of pet should a Robin have? Should Batman's Robin have? I know the obvious choice is a bird. But
I wouldn't have said a bird.
If we're not going, let's throw the bird away. No, don't throw birds away. But let's throw the imaginary bird away. What pet should Robin have?
I think it depends on the Robin, actually.
Oh, then I would please elaborate.
Dick has big dog energy for sure.
And he has a dog in the comics right now.
Yeah, Bitewing I think is a great addition.
You mean Haley?
I mean Bitewing.
I like Haley. I like the fact that that was a smart decision that they named the dog after Dick's circus.
Circus, yeah. Well, he also has a sister in that universe in that storyline. Which
let's talk about the super pets.
Debatable. Dick is big dog energy. Jason, I don't think can keep a pet alive. So I don't know, maybe like a rat, something that would follow him around.
He has a rat. Okay.
But not of his own volition. They're just like one that lives in the motorcycle helmet or something like that. Tim would have a cat because Tim would know that he wouldn't have the time and the attention to give to an animal that it would require.
What kind of cat would he have?
Either a Sphinx or a Russian blue, I think.
Okay.
Named Sherlock or something like that.
Listeners, I just want to point out that Ashley gave her favorite comic book character, Tim Drake, the same type of cat breed that Ashley loves the most in the world.
True.
I just not saying that there's any subtle connections there, but you can read between the lines. Just saying there. It's there if you want to see it. If you want to see the conspiracy, it's there.
Stephanie Brown. Don't know if I want to leave her in charge of an animal. Personally.
Okay, fair enough.
Same with Damian Wayne, man. Like, I don't trust Damian to keep nothing alive.
Damian has actually the most pets of all the Robins because Bat Cow is his, Titus is his, and also don't forget the name of the giant bat creature that he has.
Yeah.
I can't remember that bat, that big red. I'm gonna figure it out. From Batman and
Robin. I like that guy. He was cute. Damian, if I was going to give Damian a pet, I would say something like a horse. Like Damian would have a Goliath, that's right. Damian would have a status animal. I don't think Damian...
well, he has it in that giant pet.
has the capacity for love.
I've said... here we go. Here's a really fun thing. Action figure spotlight. I have said for years that DC needs to make Goliath Damian's super pet, the giant big bat creature that he rides around on. They need to make that a plushie that you could buy. I've always said that for San Diego Comic-Con, that should be the DC exclusive, you go to get the Goliath plushie. Or I would love to see, and actually I can't believe that McFarlane Toys hasn't made this because McFarlane Toys makes heavy metal, bat-inspired, scary DC comic figures. They look great, but they tend to be like heavy metal based, basically. They have a lot of tood. A Goliath with a Damian playset would be awesome, and I can't believe they haven't made it. So I'm just throwing it out there.
They must not think there's a market for it.
That's exactly what
they
it
also
is.
haven't made the John Kent Superboy jackets.
They have made a Damian Wayne action figure. So
you have it. You have
not theirs.
More than one.
I only have one.
We have a statue.
Why are we debating this right now? It doesn't matter. This has nothing to do with the super pets. Why are we debating this?
All right, on to the next super pet.
Did you finish your question? Did you ever answer?
Yes.
What did you say Carrie Kelly's was?
Oh, okay. Duke would have a dog, I think. And Carrie, I don't know if Carrie would waste her time with... Carrie would have a goldfish on her desk. Yeah. Carrie doesn't give me pet vibes.
I think I give more respect to Carrie Kelly than you do. And you can send emails to Ashley at...
geekhistoryLesson@gmail.com.
There you go. All right. Let's talk about another one that's in the movie. Merton McSnurtle, a.k.a. the terrific What-Is-It?
I'm sorry, what?
Merton McSnurtle, a.k.a. the terrific What's-It?
Oh, God, the Silver Age. Please go on.
Merton McSnurtle.
No, I didn't say to repeat. I said to go on.
I am going on. Merton McSnurtle is the Flash pet who is in this movie, but also is in the comics created by Martin Nadell, appearing in Funny Stuff #1. He is the DC Comics first talking...
Turtle?
No, for DC Comics first talking animal superhero.
Okay.
McSnurtle is a turtle and a shoekeeper who lives in the town of Zooville. He is well known in his town for both his honesty and his laziness.
This is so stupid.
Welcome to the Silver Age. He was granted superpowers by two powerful otherworldly princes, the Nice Prince Highness and Nasty Prince Lowness.
I hate this.
McSnurtle is giving these powers as sort of an experiment because he was too honest to do anything bad, but too lazy to do anything good.
Look,
we're not even done yet.
I love
McSnurtle.
the Peter Rabbit. Like, give me an anthropomorphized animal with a job. This is so bad. I have notes.
Now, both these princes, whose names I'm not going to repeat,
High life and low life,
wanted to see how a completely lazy but honest creature would behave with these powers. His powers consisted of super speed, super strength, and flight. And he also has an automatic conscience.
I was hoping you were going to say, like, rifle or...
but no, automatic rifle. Oh, my God. Basically, there's a ghost that follows McSnurtle around and pesters him to do good things.
He's a turtle.
Yep.
Is it like the ghost of his ex-business partner?
It's just a ghost. It's just a ghost. In an effort to conceal his identity as the terrific Whatzit, terrible name, McSnurtle removes his shell to cause confusion about what kind of an animal he is. So he takes off the shell and people are like, you look like a turtle, but you're not.
You look like a naked turtle.
His actual costume is basically Jay Garrick's costume, except for the lightning bolt on his chest is a TW for the terrific Whatzit.
Okay.
They decided to put that character in the movie, just saying.
Okay.
Another character that's in the League of Super Pets movie is Chip, as in apostrophe from the Green Lantern Corps.
The Green Lantern, yeah.
Technically, he's not a super pet.
He's an alien.
He's part of the Green Lantern Corps, but for the sake of the movie, they're making Chip Green Lantern's pet and they're putting him in the League of Super Pets. Not a bad idea.
For a standalone movie that's for like a younger audience, I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
Now, apostrophe first appeared in Green Lantern number 148, created by Paul Kupperberg and Don Newton. His appearance resembles a squirrel, but he's actually an alien race called a Hell-Evenite.
Great.
Closest I can. I've never heard the set out loud.
Yeah.
They'll probably say it in the movie, maybe. And he's native to the planet of Hell-Even. Now, apostrophe. His planet.
Like they've never said it in Green Lantern the Animated Series.
It's Chip. It's Chip. But I like the fact that it's CH apostrophe
You've
P.
dedicated yourself to this bit, so you will be doing it for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Apostrophe. His planet was invaded by the Crabster army, led by Dr. Ubix.
I'm sorry, crap or crab?
Crabster.
Crabster.
Because of course we can't have a space animal that doesn't fight
another
other space animal.
Okay.
Now this army defeated the Green Lantern of their sector and apostrophe. This is getting old. Led the resistance against the Crabster army, but he was overwhelmed and then captured and sentenced to death. Fortunately, one of the Guardians of the Universe visited apostrophe in his prison cell, and they offered the Green Lantern ring of sector 1014. That was apostrophe sector, and apostrophe accepts becoming the new Green Lantern of the sector. Now, he defeated Ubix's army. Now, when apostrophe, this is getting so hard, went to Oa for training, he was instructed by Kilowog in the same group of recruits as Hal Jordan. So he is a fellow rookie with Hal Jordan. He becomes good friends with many of the Lanterns in the Corps, like Jordan, Mogo, Salak, Arisa, and John Stewart.
Arisa!
Yep. Do you want to explain who Arisa is, just in case anybody doesn't know?
She is a tiny, cute little princess, around adolescent age Green Lantern who Hal has an inappropriate romantic relationship with.
That's very correct.
Who actually grows up in a sort of a post-Bronze Age to be a very cool character.
Now, apostrophe manages to keep his life as a Green Lantern separate from his civilian life. He has a girlfriend that he marries named apostrophe E.
I had no idea he's had such a rich and fulfilling personal life.
And he has a best friend named apostrophe.
DC Comics writers, I have notes in the English language, which I know this character is natively not an English speaker. We carry our word sounds on vowels. Put some more vowels in here.
I'm assuming, again, listeners, I'm doing this gag because these names are full of apostrophes. I'm assuming his girlfriend's name is supposed to be Minnie.
Yeah.
And I assume his best friend's name is Dell.
Yeah.
But it's D''LL.
Minnie, that's so lazy.
Yep.
He's not a mouse.
Now, apostrophe has his own roster of villains, which included the Battle Beaver, the Mole Patrol.
The Mole Patrol.
This next one, I think, should be a band name if it's not. Chick Fury.
Chick Fury.
Chick Fury and his Eagle Scouts is the full name.
Chick Fury's the name of a male presenting character.
Yep.
And they're not a drag villain.
And the terrible apostrophe Gull Bears.
Like the Beagle Boys, I guess.
I assume so. When Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, Ashley, really quickly, we talked about it a lot, just in case somebody doesn't know at this point, what is Crisis on Infinite Earths?
DC said there's too many universes. We only want one universe. So the the Anti-Monitor ate all the universes and pooped out just one.
Yeah,
mostly.
So DC reset their entire continuity. And when it happened, it reshaped a lot of apostrophe history in a way that he is detached from. When the multiverse collapsed into the single timeline, apostrophe returns home from that battle only to find out that he was supposedly killed in an accident years ago. And his wife, apostrophe E, married his best friend, apostrophe L, and was left without a home.
I'm imagining him like Tom Sawyer in the rafters of the church watching his own funeral.
Mm-hmm. So apostrophe relocates to Earth as the Green Lantern Corps are the only ones that remember him as he was.
Sure.
And weirdly, his arch nemesis, apostrophe X, remembers apostrophe as he was before Crisis, and is one of the few characters to retain his memories prior to the timeline reset. After confronting each other, the two became friends because they both realized they could relate to each other because they can remember the previous continuity. And they're just like, man, let's just stop fighting. Let's have a couple of beers and remember the way the universe
the good
behaved.
time, the good old time. Remember Earth B? Me too.
Mm-hmm. Now, after the Central Battery, Green Lantern Corps battery was destroyed by Hal Jordan, apostrophe was one of the few Green Lanterns left with a functional ring. He failed to rebuild his life on Evan. That's his home planet.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on the brink of suicide. Salak, who was sort of the bureaucracy, sort of paperwork pusher of the Green Lantern Corps, helped apostrophe through this period as the two bonded on apostrophe Evan.
I think Salak's official title is something like Record Keeper.
It's something like that. Apostrophe does eventually die. He gets hit by a yellow truck in Green Lantern Mosaic. And why is that important, Ashley, to Green Lanterns?
Because yellow is the opposite. It's their weakness.
It's their weakness.
I thought there was a deeper answer to that, and I had a little bit of panic attack.
When the Corps was refounded following the defeat of Parallax, another native of Heleven, was selected as the new Green Lantern of Sector 1014. So there's still a little squirrel
looking
Green Lantern, but it's not Chip anymore.
Sad face.
Yeah. There's a new creation in the League of Super Pets movie called PB. It is Wonder Woman's pet pig in this. Now, in the comics, Wonder Woman has a pet kangaroo named Jumpa.
Yeah.
That lives on Themyscira.
Yep.
Kangas are basically just large kangaroos, and they are equivalent to horses as they are what the Themyscirans ride. They don't ride horses, they ride kangaroos.
Yeah, because the Amazons are tough enough to beat kangaroos into submissions because kangaroos are mean.
Mm-hmm. And because they can jump really high, it basically is like they're flying.
Yeah.
So those are all the super pets that will be featured in the movie as has been publicly revealed. I'm certain there were more. And here are the original super pets that form the original team that we have not talked about.
Okay.
Streaky the Super Cat, as far as I know, not in this movie, but I bet Streaky appears.
I bet so too.
Streaky first appeared in Action Comics number 261, created by Jerry Siegel and Jim Mooney. Streaky was a regular house cat owned by Supergirl. Mm-hmm. One day, Supergirl was experimenting on a piece of green kryptonite to see if she could figure out a way to neutralize its deadly effects. But I think we all know what she was doing.
Okay, Nancy Grace.
When the experiment failed, Supergirl carelessly tossed the piece of kryptonite out the window. Streaky was exposed to the radiation of the kryptonite and developed superpowers.
Okay.
Which consisted of flight, speed, vision, strength, heat vision, and even intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because he's a cat.
Yeah, cats are smart.
Now let's talk about
Brago.
Comet the Supergirl.
Comet the Super Horse.
Yes. We can also talk about Comet the Supergirl.
That's okay. We can also talk about the romantic life of Comet the Super Horse, which parallels Pegasus's romantic life in the Sailor Moon franchise.
Right. Now, Comet first appeared in Adventure Comics number 293. And first, created by Jerry Siegel, half of the... Jerry Siegel also created Krypto, but half of the team that created Superman. And Kurt Swan, famous Superman artist.
Draws the best chin of any Superman artist.
Yes, Kurt Swan, legendary artist. Actually, in fact, when I talked earlier about the story where Krypto dies, it's that story, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, written by Alan Moore, drawn by Kurt Swan.
Yeah.
Because when they decided that they were like, if this is going to be the last golden age, silver age story of this Superman, it cannot be drawn by anybody else but Kurt Swan. And that is 100% correct.
I agree.
So, Comet was Supergirl's pet horse, who could also transform into a human named Bronco Bill Starr.
Bronco Henry.
A rodeo trick rider, whom Supergirl fell in love with and dated for some time.
Yeah.
Now, Ashley, I want to ask you here, is the joke of Supergirl having a horse, is that a reference to the fact that all women want a pony when they grow up? Like, there's that classic cliche joke of like a little girl being like, I want a pony. Is that what this is?
I guess. I don't know. I was like, did somebody hear the Catherine the Great rumors and thought that was very funny? I don't mind giving Supergirl a horse.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't.
Mm-hmm.
He's a white horse. He's a white flying horse. That's across various mythologies, right? Have various versions of Pegasi and such as. It's the part where he transforms into a boy and they kiss that I find particularly strange.
Well, we're going to get into this.
Yeah.
So here's a little bit more about Comet. Comet was originally a centaur in ancient Greece named Byron.
Byron?
Yep.
The Greekiest name of all time.
Yep. Circe, Biron. I might be saying it wrong.
No, it's Byron.
Yep,
yeah. But that's not a Greek name.
Circe gave Byron a potion.
The witch?
Yep. With the intention to make him fully human. Remember, Circe is a Wonder Woman villain in DC Comics universe.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
As a reward from saving her from a sorcerer that was trying to poison Circe. So Byron saved Circe. Circe gave her a potion to turn human. By mistake, the potion turned him fully into a horse.
Well, witches, you know.
Circe was unable to reverse this, so she granted him superpowers that included immortality and telepathy, because, you know, that's what I want. When I'm trapped in the body of the horse, that's what I want, is to be
trapped in there forever.
Forever, till the end of the universe.
And able to hear everybody's thoughts but communicate with nobody.
Mm-hmm. So Comet had the might of Jupiter, the wisdom of Athena, the speed of Mercury, the telepathic powers of Neptune, and the evil sorcerer was able to imprison Comet into an asteroid, imprisoning him until it was struck by Supergirl's ship when she finally landed on Earth.
Talk about convenient.
Comet was able to escape and meet Supergirl, and the two of them went on a mission to the planet Xerox, where a spell was cast.
Where they had to make some photocopies.
Where a spell was cast that turned Comet into a human, but only under the circumstance that an actual comet passes through the solar system that he is in. It's very complicated. When
you were describing his powers, we said like the might of Jupiter and the wisdom of Athena. One, love that DC's mixing the Greek and the Roman names there, because Athena's name is not Athena, and it's Minerva in Roman mythology. But it reminded me of when Shazam is like, I will have these powers, and I will have these powers, and I will have these powers.
Now, Ashley, I want to ask you to put yourself in the shoes of what do you think it would be like to own Comet the Super Horse?
To own a boy?
Yep.
Troubling. Morally gray. How I think it would feel.
Ashley, we have a phone call coming in for you.
Oh boy, I guess I better pick it up then.
Yep. I want you to pick it up at the next one.
I'm ready to pick it up. Hello?
Hello, Ashley. It's Tex Willerman here. Super fan and best fan of Kurt Wagner and owner of 6 Piggly Wiggly grocery stores in Texas.
Is it always 6 or does that number change sometimes?
It sometimes goes up and sometimes goes down. Long-time fan of the podcast, first-time caller.
Yeah, totally. How did you get this number?
I've never called him before. My friend Kurt Wagner gave it to me. Now I saw a want ad. My friend Bronco Billstar. Or wait, what was the Bronco guy you know?
Bronco Henry.
Bronco Henry, good old friend who Tex Willerman here. I saw your want ad for this horse called Comet.
Yeah, I want a horse called Comet.
No. You have a horse named Comet.
Oh, that's right.
And I am here. A want ad means you're selling it. And I'm here to buy it.
Okay. I'm only familiar with the Craigslist rules. Only personal.
Same on Craigslist. That's how want ads work. You put up, I got a washing machine. You don't put up, I want a washing machine. You put up, I got a washing machine. Please, somebody buy it.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm selling a washing machine.
No.
I got this man horse. Yeah.
Bronco Henry said that you have a centaur for sale.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to ask you some questions before I buy this horse.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Would you class the horse as a novice or an experienced ride? Like, is it going to be smooth as silk? Or is it going to feel like the bucking horse at the rodeo Henry's down the street?
Well, I would say that he has not been classically broken. So there's definitely some work to be done there if you're hoping to get some labor out of him.
Still room for Tex to break this horse.
Work his magic.
That's good news. Good news. What is the horse's temperament like?
Well, it's a lot like that of, a 9 to 11-year-old boy. So like fairly loud and insufferable.
Do they like to watch Judge Judy?
Why not?
Okay, well, that's a plus. All right, I like this. And most importantly, I think there's the most important question, I think. Have they ever had colic?
Can horses get colic?
Yeah, of course they can get belly pains.
I only thought human babies got colic.
It's a different type of colic.
I know a lot about horses, and the things that you've asked me are not things I know about these horses. Yeah, I'm sure he had colic at some point, but you take him in the shower, you let him cry it out, it's fine.
Take him in the shower, let him cry. Good job. Oh, that's going to be a fantastic. That's good. I'm going to steal that idea because I'm going to buy this horse because I don't know. I'm going to tell you my idea right now.
Uh-huh.
I am planning on touring the nation. In
which nation?
United States, of course.
Okay.
And it's sort of, post-COVID world as we talk about it. And I'm touring a show called Texas Titanic Texas Tour Show of Tip-Top and Top-Notch Horses.
What was that?
Texas Titanic Texas Tour Show of Tip-Top and Top-Notch Horses.
Oh, I see you wrote that down. I thought you might have done that off the top of your head.
No! Sometimes text prepares.
Can I ask you one question about why you...
I got six Piggy Wiggly run. This better be quick.
So you Tex Willerman.
I am Tex Willerman, GHL super fan and fan of Kurt Wagner.
Famous
friend
best
of Kurt
friend.
I'm friend of
Kurt Wagner.
Yeah. And I'm going to be the new owner of Comet the Super Horse.
The incredible Nightcrawler who can teleport anywhere in the world.
Uh-huh.
Why do you want a flying horse?
Why not?
You know what? In the world of North American billionaires, fair question.
I'm going to tell you this. I want a flying horse because sometimes there is no better feeling than galloping through the air over to your neighbor, watching them take out their garbage for the 5th time of the day, and just letting your horse plop a big old pie right on top of their head.
Oh, my goodness.
That's right.
Do you think you can outrace Brunhilde?
Who's Brunhilde?
She's Valkyrie.
Who's this Valkyrie lady? Is she on Tinder?
You know what? If I was going to bet what app she was on, I'd bet it was her or Deb.
I am on my second wife, and I could be ready.
What's her name again?
Judy. I could be ready for a third.
Her name.
I don't remember.
It's Julie.
Is it Julie now? Judy was the first wife.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that I could be on the hunt for a third wife.
Again, I'm not sure if Valkyrie bats for that team.
I don't know. Maybe I can. Maybe once she sees the Texas Titanic Texas Tour Show of Tip-Top and Top-Notch Horses, maybe she'll change her mind.
You know what? Maybe she will.
All right, I'm going to be up there on Tuesday to pick up Comet, so you better have them ready and better have that colic cured.
Yep, I'm going to put him in the shower.
All right, ta-ta, kisses.
Bye, kisses.
That was an interesting phone call, Ashley.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah.
I can't believe this keeps happening to me.
What do you mean?
These phone calls. We don't have a number, and we don't advertise a number.
Don't put horses up for sale, and maybe we won't get calls, Ashley.
He didn't ask me how many hands high the horse was. He didn't ask me what breed the horse was.
He's an experienced horseman.
He didn't ask me about the state of the horse's teeth, which pretty much denotes their entire bodily health.
I think he could just tell over the phone.
Okie dokie.
Let's talk about another super animal of the original Legion of Super Pets, Beppo the super monkey, who is one of my favorites.
He owns that bar in almost said Capital City, in Metropolis.
What?
Like Bibbo. Because it sounds like Beppo.
Oh, this is Beppo.
No, I know, but when you
okay.
say it quickly, it sounds like Beppo.
Beppo first appeared in Superboy number 76, created by Otto Binder and George Papp. Beppo, similar to Krypto, is actually from the planet Krypton. He was originally another one of Jor-El's test animals. He was a space monkey.
Jor-El willing to sacrifice animals.
Yep. When Kal-El was sent off to Earth during Krypton's disruption, Beppo managed to stow away on Kal-El's spacecraft.
Smart ape.
Upon landing, he somehow hopped off unseen and went off on his own for some time. So there's a secret window, everybody out there, future Superman writers, of Beppo's unknown adventures. He lived in the jungle, and he survived through his means of an array of superpowers, just the same as any super pet, of course, flight, invulnerability, heat vision, and X-ray vision. And through his telescopic vision, Beppo spotted Kal-El as a toddler all the way in Smallville from whatever jungle he was in. Beppo flew over to Smallville, causing a bit of havoc as baby Clark was being blamed for everything that Beppo was doing. And eventually the Kents figured out what was going on, and they were concerned because there was a super monkey around their farm, and it might draw attention to Clark and his abilities. However, during the Simeon of Steel's reign of terror...
Simeon of Steel!
Yep, he accidentally set off some fireworks stored in the Kent's garage, because that's where I keep my fireworks, the garage.
So American.
And the explosions scared him off so much that Beppo went into space.
He was like, you know what? Space was fine.
No,
nobody can hear me scream there.
Now he was more and at some point, Beppo returned, of course, and became part of the Legion of Super Pets, where he met Krypto and Streaky.
If I can offer a note to Warner Brothers, you really missed a really great stunt casting choice, where if you had done Beppo in the films, where it should have been Andy Serkis.
Oh, interesting. Now let's talk about Prote.
Yes, let's.
Probably the most bizarre of the super pets, as Prote is part of an alien race that is basically a shape-shifting telepathic little blob of clay.
Yeah.
Prote became the pet of Chameleon Boy from the Legion of Superheroes. He's also a shapeshifter. And one of the few super pets that has a replacement pet, as the replacement pet is aptly named Prote 2. Mm-hmm. Now, Prote 1 first appeared in Adventure Comics number 308, created by Edmund Hamilton and John Forte. And Prote 2 first appeared in one of my favorite books, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 72, by the same creative team. For reference, both Protes appear in 1963. And the first
good year for pop culture, 1963.
Yes, and the first Prote apparently only lived for 5 months.
Oh, sad face.
Like most super pets, right?
Yeah. Aliens.
So what happened exactly was Prote became close with Saturn Girl.
Yes,
and since Saturn Girl has the ability to read minds, the two could communicate with each other, and they bonded. Now, the founding member of the Legion of Superheroes at this time, Lightning Lad, had died. In an attempt to revive him, Saturn Girl was planning to sacrifice her life in exchange to bring Lightning Lad back to life.
Mm-hmm. Classic.
Prote distracted her by keeping her under the illusion that she was lost in a cave. And Prote shapeshifted into Saturn Girl, using himself in her place instead. Side note, there was a retcon that when Prote did this, instead of his life force being taken, it was actually his consciousness placed inside the resurrected body of Lightning Lad. Yep. And that retcon didn't go over too well with the fans and was backtracked very quickly.
Yeah, I hate that.
Now, Chameleon Boy got a new Prote because the first Prote died, of course.
Yep.
And Prote 2 joined the Legion, but most members of the Legion would just call him Prote. Mm-hmm. Prote 2 applied to join the Legion of Super Pets, and he is set on impossible missions to prove that he is truly an asset to the Legion of Super Pets. The first test involves him disguised as Superboy to collect a sample of Vortrum, which is a form of water from an alien planet. The second test, he assists Saturn Girl disguised as Chameleon Boy without her noticing the difference. The third test is he has to keep the Legion of Superheroes out of the base for at least an hour, and he does so by pretending to be an automated super weapon. So he basically like shapeshifts into a gun, and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa!
I knew a rifle was going to show up at some point in this episode.
And the final test is to accompany Krypto to a mysterious lead-lined trunk. The trunk turns out to be full of kryptonite, and Prote,
as they usually turn out to be.
And Prote 2 manages to save Krypto, bringing him back to safety. As for his own test on the Super Pets, Prote pretends to be Krypto, and Krypto is disguised as a dead Prote. And after the Super Pets fall for it, the two of them reveal themselves. All the pets have a hearty laugh, even though I don't really think cats can laugh. And Prote 2 is allowed into the Legion of Super Pets.
That's weirdly dark. I only learned in this lesson that Streaky got his powers from kryptonite. So it's kind of wild to me that he would be working on a team with Krypto, who is That's his weakness.
Now, everyone, there are way more super pets that join the Legion, although there are many DC Universe animal adjacent characters that are connected to heroes. They were never really part of a league of super pets or a legion of super pets, but I thought it would be fun. I picked a bunch of them that I think are funny because there are way more than I could ever even mention. It would be impossible. And I thought, Ashley, I would say their name.
Okay.
And see if you know who they are before I tell you who they are. We'll make a little game of it.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Yep.
First one is the Krypto Mouse.
The Krypto Mouse is the mascot of the cryptocurrency brand inside the DC universe.
Close, but it's with Krypto with a K. Krypto Mouse was named Fuzzy, who appeared in the Superman Family Adventures. Once an ordinary mouse in Lex Luthor's labs, having been exposed to the radiations emitted by Luthor's war suit, he gained a portion of Krypto's powers and the ability to talk.
Okie dokie.
Yeah. Do you know who Porpy the Porpoise is?
You say that, and I feel like someone's brought it up to me before, but I'm going to say it's a fun-loving porpoise that Aquaman works with.
It's the porpoise that Aquaman rides.
Okay. It's not... There is a universe, though, where Aquaman was raised by dolphins or something like that?
That is one of his origins.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What about Storm the Seahorse?
Storm the Seahorse is the most prolific male seahorse who's had the most seahorse babies.
It's another seahorse friend of Aquaman's.
Great.
They have a telepathic relationship, but they're oversized, which is why they're called Storm.
Yes. Yeah.
What about Topo?
Don't know who Topo is.
Topo is the super intelligent octopus that has been reinterpreted as a kraken. He understands basic construction. He's a trapeze artist.
Oh.
He can play 5 different musical instruments, and he was seen most recently in the Aquaman movie playing the drums.
That's right.
What about Gleek?
Gleek looks like an ape.
Mm-hmm. But who is Gleek attached to?
Oh, man, the Wonder Twins?
Correct.
Yeah.
Gleek is the alien monkey from the planet Exor. He's pet of the famous Wonder Twins.
If you've never read any Wonder Twins, by the way, the most recent series is very good.
And he's featured in the Super Friends cartoon. He can stretch his tail, and he can basically understand a lot of verbal commands in English. What about Big Red? And I don't mean the gum.
Well, that is the in-universe version of Clifford, of course.
That's not a bad guess.
Thank you.
Big Red.
I'm assuming it's vaguely Russian. I don't know.
No, Big Red is actually the Golden Age Hawkman's hawk assistant. It's a red hawk.
Okie dokie.
What about Leroy?
Leroy Jenkins. Leroy is a sentient cockatoo who lives in Lex Luthor's house.
Incorrect. Leroy is a magical pet iguana. They are the pet of Tracy 13 from Blue Beetle, who can turn into a dragon.
I do like Tracy 13.
Leroy likes coffee.
Yes.
Yep. What about Winged Victory?
Ooh, Winged Victory.
You know who Winged Victory is.
Has to be a flying horse. And has to be Wonder Woman's.
But who's flying
Wonder
horse?
Woman's flying horse.
Incorrect. Winged Victory is the trusty steed.
From the 7 Soldiers of Victory.
Yes, the Shining Knight, the member of the 7 Soldiers of Victory.
My favorite knight in the DC universe.
What about Hootie?
The owl.
It is an owl, but whose owl?
Wonder Woman's.
Why? No, not Wonder Woman's.
Wonder Woman has a bond with animals. How does Wonder Woman have so few super pets?
Hootie is Dr. Midnight's pet owl, the blind,
I would have never pulled
the blind
that.
gentleman from the Justice Society of America.
Yeah.
What about Zook?
Zook is a Gila monster who lives in Cassie Sandsmark's backyard.
Incorrect. Zook is actually an alien from another dimension, but he was the pet of Martian Manhunter in the Silver Age.
Okay. I was like, then not a pet.
What about Starro the cat?
Starro the cat? Oh, is that Power Girl's cat?
No.
Because Power Girl has a fuzzy white cat.
No, it is not. Starro the cat is Snapper Carr's cat, the sort of machinist and a sidekick of the Justice League. He named that cat after Starro the Conqueror, after the villain.
The OG Justice League villain.
Yeah, because Snapper Carr had helped the League defeat, and that's when he got membership, so he named his kitty after his big adventure.
Weird flex, man. Weird flex.
There is also a Space Canine Patrol Agency, which is a team of crime-fighting dogs that travel through space. And they were deliberately comically as they were featured in a backup stories with Krypto in the Superboy comics of the Silver Age.
They didn't call them the Bone Lantern Corps?
That's not bad.
Thank
That's
you.
not bad.
Thank you.
So really quickly, just to finish off, everybody, after Crisis on Earth, I mentioned that a lot of the super pets were phased out. Krypto has always been around in one form or another. Some pet sidekicks like Storm the Seahorse and Geek have shown up. But there was a small reunion of the Super Pets in the Super Sons Annual #1 by Peter J. Tomasi and Paul Pilliter. And basically, it's a team up of Krypto and Detective Chimp and Bat Cow and all of them and Titus. And it's a fun, and then Flexi the Plastic Bird, which is really cool. And I just want to mention it. It's out there. There is a very modern Super Pets adventure if you want to read it. So that is it for the Legion of Super Pets.
That took me to places I didn't think existed.
That's right. Let's get to the recommended reading. Ashley, what is that?
That is if you go over to geekhistorylesson.com/recommended reading, we have a bunch of suggestions of stuff that you can dive into if you are intrigued or if you liked anything that Professor Jason taught to you today. And I think we learned a lot of wild things. And I can't wait to see what recommendations you have.
The first one is the Tales of the Super Pets. It's sort of an all ages reprinting of a bunch of the classic Silver Age adventures of Krypto the Super Dog, Streaky the Super Cat, and Ace the Bat Hound. It is about the best thing in print to read the original adventures of the Super Pets without buying like all the old omnibus and stuff like that. So it's called Tail, Tail, like tail of an animal, Tales of the Super Pets. And I think it's not even the size of a comic book. It's like in a digest format. So there you go. Next one is Krypto the Super Dog. It is sort of a mini series that they did a couple years ago. It's very all ages. It's all ages adventures of Krypto the Super Dog because he's the most popular super pet. And, it's a really fun mini series. And the last one is Starro and the Space Dolphins, which is part of the DC Super Pet series. If you don't know what that is, Art Balthazar, who did a amazing variant cover for our comic book Jupiter Jet, he's been doing these all ages things like Tiny Titans and Superman Family Adventures. He also does one called DC Super Pets. And this, to me, is the one that is the craziest and the funnest. It's Starro and the Space Dolphins. Here's the synopsis. All right. Buy this for your kid. If you have kids that love comic books, if your kids are listening to this podcast right now, buy this for your kids. And kids, if you're listening to this podcast right now, literally look at your parents and say, I want Starro and the Space Dolphins. We'll wait. All right, parents, you heard them. Buy it. Here's the synopsis. When Lobo's beloved space dolphins go missing, Dog, D-A-W-G, and Big Red team up. These suspicious super pets believe someone has stolen the poor porpoises on purpose. However, the heroes discover something far worse. The Starros, a species of alien starfish, have attached themselves to the abducted dolphins and now control them with their evil powers. If Dog and Big Red can't help, these brainwashed bottlenoses will become a whale of a problem.
Sounds honestly very awesome.
You should read it. Again, buy it for your kids. Read it buy it if you don't have kids. Every Art Balthazar book is a great read, and it's so much fun.
Also, if you're going to meet your heroes, Art is one of the nice people to meet.
He is. All right, let's go into the honor roll, Ashley.
Yes, the honor roll is if you head on over to Apple Podcasts or whatever we're calling iTunes these days, and you write us a 5-star review, we'll read whatever you write. Literally anything. And if you're a nice international person, please screenshot it and email it to geekhistorylesson@gmail.com because we don't have access to your iTunes or your Apple Podcast. And let us know where you're from. We are so happy for international feedback. So we have two nice people joining the honor roll today. The first with coming in here with maybe my favorite username of all time, Dr. Colonel Captain McPants. Says, this podcast goes boldly. You're showing your Trekkie. Love the podcast. Future Jason and Ashley, this is past Jason writing to you from your couch. If you are reading this, great job. Keep going. And I'm certain this episode is going great. Brego is watching Jason.
Yeah, it's past me.
Were you trying to win one of our giveaways?
No, I think I was trying to show our listeners that anybody can write a 5-star review. And I honestly think I did that 6 months ago.
It is from March. We're doing our best to keep up to date.
I have been waiting for that one to come up. So hello, past me.
Wow. Seems some nepotism employing yourself here at the Mind University.
That's right.
And Jason is joined by Jericho K93, who says, dark magic. You guys are always a joy to listen to. I'm learning more about my favorite comic book characters, and I don't use the dark magic. Jason, Doctor Strange is my favorite character.
Oh, that's so nice. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for that review. past me and
Jericho K93.
Jericho K93. Welcome into the Mind University Teachers Lounge. In the corner, Prote 2 is teaching us how to paint the most amazing popsicle sticks.
Wow.
Yeah, popsicle stick art. What we got going on in there. Everyone out there, if you want to listen to more Geek History Lesson, don't forget to subscribe to us everywhere you can listen to podcasts. Spotify, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts. If we're not on a service that you listen to, please tell us. We will add it. We will make sure the podcast is on there. And don't forget to tell your friends. If you really love this episode, tell your friends about it. It's the best way to spread the love of this podcast. And Ashley, where can they suggest future lessons like the DC Legion of Super Pets?
You can suggest them at geekhistorylesson.com, facebook.com/geekhistorylesson, Instagram at geekhistorylesson, or on Twitter at GHL Podcast.
Don't forget to follow Ashley on Instagram and Twitter at Ashley V. Robinson, where she's going to be putting up all these issues of Aurora and the Eagle that you can buy. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Jawiin. That's Jawiin on Instagram and Twitter. And where you can find all kinds of issues of my comic, Super Best Friend, to buy. And don't forget to support the podcast at patreon.com/Jawiin, Jawiin, for more good stuff. Hashtag stick around. We're here. I kind of feel we need a sound effect for hashtag stick around. If anybody wants to mail in a sound effect for hashtag stick around, I will add it to the podcast. Send it to.
We'll send you a sticker or something like that.
We will send you. I would love to have. I want a hashtag stick around sound effect. I'm putting it out there right now. I know we've had some fans send in sound effects for other things. Anybody listening, it's open to anybody. We'll pick what we think is the best one. We will play it. We'll give you a shout out on the podcast, and we'll send you a free couple GHL stickers. We have a bunch of them. We'll
credit you and or your band accordingly.
Yeah, I want something to play. Okay. Something better than.
Then crickets?
Yeah, I want a sound effect, everybody. I'm throwing that out there. We've never done a sound effect on GHL that was from the fans. Here it is. I want a hashtag stick around. The most creative one will win. Hashtag stick around. Future sound effect insert here. Ashley, we're taking Streaky off the choices here because we both love a good kitty because intern, we can't talk about a good kitty too much because intern Cat Breako will get jealous. Mm-hmm. But if you could have any of the super pets besides Streaky as your own pet, who would you want?
Haley.
Why?
Because he's so cute.
Who's Haley again? I forgot.
Nightwing's dog.
Oh, you want Haley the Nightwing dog. Okay, got it.
Yeah, she's a cute little pitty.
Mm-hmm.
She's a sweetie. Mm-hmm. Dogs take so much work, though. I wouldn't want most of the super pets, to be fair.
You don't want Prote?
Absolutely not. Right. Also, alien pets got to have some kind of needs that I'm not going to be able to understand or fulfill. That's fair. Why? Who would you pick?
Prote. Think about
not
all the
Krypto?
Krypto's my close second. But think about all the shenanigans you can get up to because Prote can make themselves look like anything.
Yeah, but that's like you're waiting for something awful to happen.
Oh, there's going to be some glorious hijinks.
Yeah.
Glorious. So that's my pick.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let us know your pick out there on our social medias. Thank you so much, everybody, to listening to Geek History Lesson. I am Jason, still the goodest boy Inman.
I am Ashley Victoria Robinson, and Professor Jason, would you please dismiss the class?
I will dismiss this class in the language of the Legion of Super Pets. Woof.